This video is to show how to set up SNMP version 3 on an Aruba switch and then to integrate it into Airwave. So this is a, let me show you, it's pretty, I factory defaulted this switch, so there's really nothing on it. So I'm going to just make some VLANs. So I turned DHCP on just to get an IP address on this VLAN 999. I'll talk on this network over to my Airwave server. So I'll set that up. Let me also look. I want to get rid of this default SNMP community string. Okay, so that's gone. I got to quick put an default route in. Okay. And we're going to turn on, so the first thing we're going to do is turn on SNMP version 3. So it's creating an initial user. I'll just put a password on it. I'm going to delete this user later. Okay, so it created that initial user. We're going to get rid of that later. So this step 1 should be turn on SNMP, and the command should be SNMP version 3 enable. Okay, now the next step is, this is the command that we're going to put in, and here is the command I'm going to paste in. I made my username SNMP admin, and I made my authentication password Aruba123. My privilege password, or my privacy password, I just made Aruba123 for now. I could have made it something different, but I'm going to copy this in. Okay, and now the next step is we have to put in the group here. Now, I use this manager priv, and that says manager priv requires privacy and authentication can access all objects. So here is my username, SNMP admin. So we're just going to copy this and paste it in. Now I want to delete the initial user. So that initial user that was created, let's get it out of there. Okay. And I only want SNMP version 3 only. Okay, so let's exit out for a sec. Let's do a show run. Let's take a look at what's in there. And that is it for right now. I'm going to write the mem. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to go into my Airwave. And I'm going to make a brand new group. So I'm going to call it 2930F. And this is an 8-port switch, so I'll just put 8. I'm going to add this group. And I'm going to make some changes here on my group. So I'm going to allow it to audit the config. I want that. I'm going to scroll down and I am going to select show devices only in this group. And I'm going to change these to version 3. So I think this is what fixed it for me when I finally got it working. You know, this is for Catalyst, but that will go away once it sees an Aruba AP in there. And I thought I might have to add it in as a universal device. Sometimes you have to do this with older ProCurve switches, but you know, the newer Aruba switches should work with this SNMP version 3 in here. So those are the items that I changed, and then I'm just going to hit save and apply. And apply changes. And I'm going to go down and I am going to go in the device setup and I am going to add my switch in. So it's an Aruba device. Like I said, I thought I might have to change it when I couldn't get it working. Some of the older ProCurve switches I have to go down and set them here to universal network device. But this does work correctly off of Aruba device. So I click add, and I can either leave the name blank or it should pull in the right name. So I'll put in the IP address of my switch, and that's what it just grabbed through DHCP. So community string, I blanked that out because we're using SNMP version 3, and it was SNMP admin was my username. And Aruba123 was my authentication password. I'm going to tell it that I believe it was Shaw here. Let me see. I believe I left it at the default here. So yeah, so it was Shaw in AES. So Shaw, and I did make a privacy password. And that is going to be required. And here is the AES. Telnet, I didn't set a username and password yet. So let me quickly set that. So okay. And I am going to put that into my new group and monitor only mode. So I'll click add. I'll apply changes. And let's go back to my groups. Here's my 2930. Seeing a device is down right now, but it should come up in a second. Oh, there it is. It's up already. And let me scroll down here. Let me click on, it didn't pull all the information yet. It's saying configuration unknown. And let's pull it for a sec. And now it learned the name. So you saw before it said Hewlett Packard in there, but now it pulled the correct name and it sees the configuration. So let's click on it right here. Click on the switch, and you can see up here that it's working fine now. I used to get an error message up here that would say SNMP failed. So I can pull it and you know, I can take a look at You know, if the SNMP fails, you can click on that poll again. So let me go back to my group. Let me go back to this IP again, and now if I can click on the config, it pulled my config already. So it sees the version of code, it pulled my config, and I can click on view my config. So SNMP version 3 is working, and everything's working good now with Airwave.